What's up, everybody? Run Pure Sports, Run Pure Bets. We're back here. It's Monday. No Holden. I'm sure you're all happy. So hit the like button because Holden's not here. I got my guys G Rising and Draft Cheat in the house. First off, G Rising talk about bowling before the show. I don't even want to get on that subject. But how was your weekend? We win any money on DFSN?
I'm in cash. I had to sweat it out, man. I was one of them suckers too that bought into the most start. As soon as you hear Trey Sermon isn't going to be in, and I was going to fade him originally, and then I went back to him when I heard that bit of news, and just frustrating. It was pretty tilting at first, but I had Hopkins, I had Kyler Murray, and Kelsey and AJ Brown. So I had some guys that bailed me out a little bit, got lucky. But yeah, it was frustrating, but hey, it was fun to have two sports. I've been grinding baseball for so long. It was like the only thing I was really paying attention to. So it was kind of refreshing to have a little bit of football, and it was kind of funny. I'm sitting there on Sunday morning, excited. A couple of my buddies were walking up the driveway with some beer, and guy's got a pan pizza in his hand. I'm thinking, sweet, what are we going to do today? And my buddy's like, who do you like for baseball? And I thought, oh shit, we got to do baseball too today. Oh man. So I had to go in the house and spend about a half hour, grind out some baseball, and actually did pretty well at baseball on Sunday. So I can't complain, but yeah, pretty excited to be on here with you two and break down this 7-gamer we got coming up.
There you go. DC, how about you? You run some miles this weekend? You have encouraged me to run. I did, got pretty excited, lost, not as many, lost a couple pounds. It's a start. But yeah, motivated me. We'll keep posting them. So I do appreciate that.
Yeah, you gotta start somewhere, right? The hardest thing is just getting out the door on day one. It gets easier from there. So yeah, I've been keeping the exercise routine rolling. All that's good. And I did profit yesterday. Yeah, it was an okay day. Kind of the Chiefs bailed me out. I was all in on Zach Wilson early, and I did play some afternoon slate and went with the Chiefs stack, of course. And Wilson to Corey Davis ended up being a good combination, but I'm kicking myself a little bit for not playing more of my guy, Patty Mahomes, Tyreek Hill, Travis Kelce. These dudes, they just do it every week, right? It's every single week with those guys. I do think I would have ended up, playing a lot of Marquez Callaway, Elijah Moore on those types of teams because they're 3K wide receivers. So I don't really think I would have gotten there anyway, even if I'd kind of been all in on the Chiefs. So is what it is. It's week one. We got another football game tonight. Ravens, Las Vegas Raiders. Like, I don't know about you guys. I love primetime NFL games. One game on, you can fire up the Twitter machine during the commercial breaks. Like, I know some people get bored watching one football game. Not me. I'm all about sitting down and relaxing on the couch, having some drinks and watching the primetime game. So excited for tonight. We got Showdown content up all over. Check out that show earlier between BigT and Chopper. Maybe after this one, you'll have that hour and 20 minutes before lock. So yeah, excited for football tonight and baseball too, of course. 7-game slate. I'm not ditching my one true love, the baseball for football entirely. So yeah, ready to go for tonight, and should be a fun night of sports, I think.
Hell yeah, awesome stuff. Yeah, so, if you're not signed up, great time to sign up. Obviously, we're only 1 week into the NFL season, premium. We got all these prizes. A lot of members never win, quote unquote, but we've seen a lot of screenshots this week. Definitely, if you have a screenshot, make sure to hit us on Twitter, mention us on Instagram, Twitter, and tag us at Run Pure Sports. We will repost it to our story. And now we're also doing a little promo where if you have our logo on your avatar, on your screenshot, we're going to be picking random winners to send out some Run Pure Bets, Run Pure Sports swag. So make sure you add the logo to your avatar. You can find it in the Discord in the RPS logo channel. Additionally, so the Tournament of Champions, which we run in between everybody at Run Pure Sports. The winner this week, the Real Squash. Very nice lineup he had here. Congratulations to Mr. Squash. He took it down. I forget exactly what the first prize is, but I know at the end, we're going to give out big prizes at the end. He had Baker Mayfield, 1.1% of Baker Mayfield this year. So this week. So really nice work from him as well. And then we got some other screenshots from Sean Cash, won $15,000. He won that on FanDuel. He came in third place, $15,000. What a job he had a line of Mahomes, Gibson, Robinson, Lockett, Kirk, Samuel, Kelsey, Hill, and the Bengals defense. Won $15,000 and $10,000. So he actually won $25,000 all in all. 2 entries, $77. You'll love to see that. And then one more we had in, I'm pretty sure it was Yahoo, Chase. our guy, or Sean Cash was, Sean Cash was Yahoo. Sorry. Chase was the FanDuel, who won the 25K. And then we had Yahoo was Sean Cash. He won 15,000, came in first place on Yahoo. He had Mahomes, Hunt, Edmonds, Hill, Marshall, Kelsey, Moore, Pascal, and Jalen Hurts. Very nice stuff, guys. So we're going to keep this mojo going. Make sure to hit the subscribe button. Obviously I'm going to say this during the show. Holden's not here. Hit the damn like button so he doesn't come back on Mondays anymore. All right? And definitely make sure to subscribe to Run Pure Sports podcast on Apple and Google Play, and check out Draft Sheets First Look podcast every morning with a guest. So, I think G. Rosin said G's there. I know he's not liking the Holden slander.
Please hit the like button.
I was gonna say Holden
so he don't come back on
us.
Monday. I mean, please. Usually the show turns to shit at some point in time. He'll bring up something that he tries to get us to blush every time. So, we try to turn it around. It's kind of like a little joke we have going with each other.
I was going to say
Monday. I've been saying it for a couple of weeks now. Monday's my favorite day of the week. I mean, people, you get over your NFL Sunday fun. You got to go back to work. Maybe you're a little hungover. All those things are true for me as well, but still no Holden. That just makes the entire day replaced by Joey work here. So I'm excited for Monday as always.
There we go. That's what I'm talking about.
Joey's been on fire with his baseball picks. I checked on there yesterday. He had the Rangers at plus 170, plus 180. I thought, oh man, that would look real nice, and a couple parlayed with a couple of these other bets I like. And hey,
they both cashed
out pretty well, huh, Joey?
Yeah,
well,
yeah. Hey? I'm riding hot as of late. Want to say like 110 of my last 12 bets. So keeping the good mojo coming. And I knew I was, good mojo.
Give us the hot takes on the show then.
Oh yeah, I got some takes. I got 2 bets. Obviously the line I gave them out. This is the advantage of being a Run Pure Sports subscriber, Run Pure Bet subscriber. I gave these bets out last night, 12 midnight. The line has moved about 60 cents in our favor.
Oh wow!
Overnight. So, but we can move right into it. You guys want to do game by game? It's only 7 games, or we could go start with pitchers. What do you guys want to do here?
I say we start with pitching and then run down the games. How about that?
All right, cool. So, G. Rison, what are you looking at pitchers-wise here?
Well, for me, everybody knows I primarily play on FanDuel, and it was pretty easy for me when I was looking at it. You got Clayton Kershaw at 10-9, and he's just not gonna get the pitch count we want. So, you got to scratch him off. Wainwright, he's 9,800. You really can't. I just don't like his upside. The guy's consistent. You can't go wrong there if you're looking for that. But obviously, to win a tournament, we need some consistency. So, some upside. So for me, that's pure. That's just pure 100% Sandy Alcantara for Miami. I'm just using him. I'm not planning on anybody else. I'm going to pay the 10-6 and move on. Washington, really, the only thing we got to worry about is Soto, obviously. But Alcantara, you looked up a little down in his numbers, and I'm sure DC can probably add a little bit more to it. But he's almost at like a Jacob deGrom type level here recently. The guy is one of the hottest pitchers in baseball. So, if his name was something other than Alcantara, I think he'd have he'd have a lot more ownership. So if his name was Yu Darvish, it would be just 80% chalk probably today. But just because he's on Miami, I'm kind of hoping to get a discount, and some others look elsewhere like Yu Darvish, who I do think potentially could be the pivot there. But I'm staying up at the top with Alcantara, and I'm probably fucking up his name, not saying it right, probably 3 different ways. But hey, you guys know what I mean.
Yeah, I think you're good. I think it's Alcantara. I think you said it right the last time. The first couple, maybe not, but we get the point.
I knew I was taking a stab. If 1 or 3, I was right. I could say
I've heard Alcantara and I've heard Alcantara.
Yeah,
I don't care enough to really look up which one it is. I think either works for me. We know what you're talking about with Sandy Alcantara, and I'm with you. I think he's a really, really strong play. Like you said, he's just been lights out. He's just been kind of a beast, right? Giving you a ton of innings, 100, 110 pitches almost every start out. Matchup looks good here. G. Rison, I was kind of surprised to see the Nationals with a 4 team total. I would think a lower team total here at home against Alcantara. So yeah, I'm in on him for sure. I like the call. I think he's very safe and has upside too. The matchup against Washington is really good. It's just outside of Juan Soto, there's not really any bats in that lineup that you fear too much. And even Juan Soto himself, like Alcantara is kind of a perfect pitcher to face him where you don't have to worry so much because he throws so many strikes, right? He's throwing that 99-mile-per-hour sinker. It's like, okay, hit it, Juan Soto, right? I mean, you're probably going to just ground it out like Alcantara does to everybody. So even that matchup doesn't scare me too much. So I'm in on him. Kershaw, like you mentioned, I mean, coming back from a pretty long layoff through 3 innings, he is on full rest here, 3 innings in the minor leagues in his rehab start. I kind of expect him to be normal Clayton Kershaw, except for the pitch count, right? Which I think maybe we get 60, 70 pitches out of Kershaw. They're going to be cautious with him. Great matchup. I think maybe you could if he was cheaper, but at 10.4, I just don't necessarily see the upside. Adam Wainwright, I think, is a good play, but the Mets are a little bit scary right now, I think. Alek Manoah always has upside. And then I'm probably going to go back to my guy, Logan Gilbert, for the Seattle Mariners. I know the recent results haven't been great for him, but I mean, this dude has faced Houston Astros in 3 of his last 4 starts. And then he had, Toronto 5 starts ago. I'm still seeing really good underlying metrics. He's getting ahead of hitters. He's getting a lot of whiffs. He's at home here. And Boston, listen, dangerous team at Fenway. All the way across the country in Seattle, I'm less worried about that matchup for Logan Gilbert. And I think he's good enough to overcome it. He's still throwing hard, 96 to 98. Like, I don't think he's wearing down. The results indicate that he is, but there's nothing else, right, that kind of indicates that Logan Gilbert is wearing down. I had the same take Armand Marquez, his last start. I was like, I see kind of the same pitcher who's just had a rough few games, right? And it happens in a long season. So, yeah, Logan Gilbert, 6,700. I think you'll get him. I'm sure he'll have some ownership, but I don't think it's as high as it should be. I think Gilbert's got a very good chance to throw a strong game here. I think he can go, 100 pitches in this one, maybe. Pair him up with Alcantara. I think you've got a good chance at 40, 50 plus DraftKings points, frankly, for 2 pitchers who aren't really that expensive when you combine the salary. So I do like this slate for pitching for sure.
Yeah. Speaking of Alcantara, so basically this is the bet I gave out last night. I did give out Miami first 5 money line. That was opened up at plus 125 on DraftKings. That number is probably at minus 130 now. So essentially, that's definitely a big difference. I'm not totally against it, but now you're laying wood, so it's totally different. But Alcantara has been great, as you guys mentioned. He's struck out 44 people his last 4 starts. He's averaging 11 strikeouts per start. I mean, I think there's a great matchup again versus him. I'm not really, as you mentioned, not scared of this Washington lineup either. And otherwise, I don't think you guys really mentioned Wainwright. I'm not totally against going to Wainwright either. He gets another, I know he's on the road, but this is a pitcher-friendly park, and the Mets really don't scare me. So essentially, that's where I'm at there. All right, so you want to do stacks? You want to go game by game from here now?
Yeah, we can go game by game. I think that makes sense.
Okay, cool. So obviously, we just mentioned the Marlins Nationals game. Doesn't look like do you have any interest in Miami's offense per se, G Rising?
No, I not on this slate. I don't actually. Miami is one of them offenses that if you're going to get them low owned. I mean, if you wanted to play your MMEing tonight, I don't mind the Marlins, but I'm only going to play 3 teams. I'm not going to go to the Marlins, but I can't argue that it's going to be mid 80s there. Really not much wind that's going to really affect much, but I mean, this Nationals bullpen really isn't that good. I mean, they're just a team fits the bill of somebody mailing it in. So Marlins aren't really a bad idea. I just I'm not going to go there with the amount of teams I'm going to play, but I wouldn't fault you if you wanted to MME.
All right. And then DC, you have any interest in either of these teams, Miami or Washington, from the offensive perspective?
No interest in the Washington offense outside of maybe you can play Juan Soto. I mean, I do think Sandy Alcantara will give him pitches to hit, right? I don't think he's going to pitch around him. I mean, when you have a 99 or 100 mile per hour sinker, you're going to have confidence in it, right? And so if you tell me that Soto for sure is probably going to get some cuts at fastballs, I really do think he will, then obviously he could do the damage. The Miami side, I think, is a little bit interesting. Paulo Espino, I don't think is any good. This Washington bullpen has been absolutely horrendous down the stretch. like they don't really have any good arms in the bullpen, right? It's like there's some teams where I kind of closely monitor bullpen usage to see who's going to be available and who might have the night off where I'm looking at stacks. Washington, it's like I don't really care who's available because they all kind of suck. So, if Miami can do damage here, and I think it's possible. I mean, I know this Miami team, they strikes out a lot. It's not a good offense, but a huge park upgrade, right? Going from Miami to Washington, playing the heat and humidity in DC. I mean, they've got some lefty power in the middle of that lineup. Jazz Chisholm's had a great rookie year for Miami. Brian De La Cruz, I mean, he's a right-handed guy, but he's 2,900 hitting third. And then Jesus Sanchez, I think, is an interesting play as well. He's got big boy power, right? I mean, he can hit at 460, 470. Like when he hits one, it's not, he's walking to first right out of the box because he hits absolute bombs when he gets a hold of one. So Jesus Sanchez hitting cleanup at 3K. I mean, good matchups to start it off and good hitting weather, horrible bullpen. I kind of like him. So, yeah, Miami is a little bit interesting to me at least.
Yeah, I agree. As you speak on this Washington bullpen, since August 1st, they have the third worst, second worst in advanced stats, xFIP, BABIP, whatnot. So this bullpen is definitely shaky, and Espino doesn't scare me either. It's just, who are the right bats for Miami, and I think you mentioned some of them. So, all right, on to this next game.
Yeah, Jazz Chisholm and Jesus Sanchez, I think, are clearly the best two Miami guys.
Absolutely. And then, if you want, I'm not totally against Miguel Rojas either. Up in the one hole shortstop, he's a grind.
Makes some sense too. I mean, I think you could even full stack Miami if you wanted to and get kind of weird.
Yeah, true. That'll definitely make you different probably. Yep. So on to the Rays, Tampa Bay. It's looking like they're starting. The Rays are starting Colin McHugh, and then it's looking like Ryan Yarborough, the lefty. So righty lefty, they're going to switch. McHugh probably pitches 2 or 3 innings, hand it off to Yarborough. And then Alex Manoah on the other end. This Toronto, as we know, this Toronto teams, I think they scored 22 runs yesterday. They scored the most they've scored in history in that 3-game set against the Orioles. Obviously, these both teams are traveling. Tampa Bay was on the road in Detroit, traveling now to Toronto, and Toronto was in Baltimore, as I mentioned. So both teams traveling might come out, a little stumbly, but I definitely slight lean towards Toronto. But G-Rise, any of the offenses stick out at you here?
I mean, this is almost going to be like a playoff type game. I just think they're going to be the matchups. Tampa Bay is just pretty good at playing matchups. I think, really for the Blue Jays after coming off a series like that, then having to play the Rays is probably one of the worst case scenarios for them. The Rays are like their kryptonite. So I'm hoping everybody else plays some Blue Jays tonight. They look at that over under 9 team total, game total at 9. And they see those high projections for some of those Blue Jays. And I kind of hope people go that way. I'm just not a fan really of either side at this point. I just think it's going to be a pretty close, tight game. And I don't think they're going to give any kind of pitcher really any kind of leash. I think both teams really want to win. So, I can't fault you if you want to do. I'm just going to pick on some other spots and kind of hope some guys go to the Blue Jays, but yeah, no thanks for me. I'm not a fan of Yarborough. I mean, they just don't get beat up enough for me. I just don't think the upside's there. I don't think Manoah is going to get beat up. And if you get later into the bullpen for the Rays, I mean, that's not a good idea either. So I'm going to have to pass on any stacking here. I mean, you could obviously pull some one-offs if you wanted to look to get some bats. There's obviously lots of guys in this game that you could use, but as far as me stacking it up, I'm not interested. But one off that could be interesting is Brett Phillips in the hitting leadoff for the Rays. He's min price on FanDuel, so anytime you can get a min price guy hitting up and leadoff, got some power, you can't argue that at all.
There you go. DC, do you have any thoughts on either using Toronto or Tampa Bay in your offense?
Yeah, similar thoughts to G-Rising on this one with the Jays and the Rays. Again, a very important game in terms of the standings. Both teams going to want to win this one. Colin McHugh has been lights out as a reliever this year, pitching it's normally 1 to 2 innings. Maybe they give him 3 here. I kind of doubt it. I think it'll be 2 innings for Colin McHugh. But like, I mean, I think he'll kind of shut down this vaunted Blue Jays offense for those 2 innings. That's just kind of what he does. He's going to turn it over to Ryan Yarbrough, who will go, as long as he's pitching well, we'll see. And then the bullpen, obviously. And then, on the other side, Alek Manoah, fantastic rookie year for him, right? I'm a big believer in Alek Manoah as well. My 2 favorite rookie pitchers, I think, are Manoah and Logan Gilbert going forward, and both of them going tonight. So that's kind of fun. But yeah, no, I actually, not like some official bet or anything, but I really like the under 5 innings total here. DraftKings has it under 5 runs. First 5 innings under is what I like. Yeah. DraftKings has it 5 runs minus 115, but obviously if you can find a better line somewhere else, do that. But yeah, I think Manoah's going to have success. And then I think that the McHugh and Ryan Yarbrough will have success kicking this one off. So I'm not expecting a lot of offense here. I mean, the Blue Jays, I'm not going to play them, but they always have a ton of upside, right? Like they could crush Yarbrough for sure. I mean, that lefty, kind of a soft tossing lefty. If the Blue Jays are on tonight, you never know. So it would be the Blue Jays side that I'd be more likely to play for sure. But for the most part, not going to a ton of offense here.
Yeah, I hear you. Yeah, I kind of like that bet too. First 5 under 5. You said Tampa Bay, Toronto. That's definitely intriguing bet there. Both teams off big series, coming traveling. Yeah, I do like that spot. Chris Myers said, my cousin and his wife had a kid today. They named him Holden. This country is going to hell. All right, Chris. Prayers, congratulations to your cousin, and prayers with the little baby. I mean, I don't know about the name. You should have told him a Holden. I don't think it's the greatest of names, but it is what it is, All right, so make sure to hit the like button. I mean, we got almost 300 people watching, 70 people liking it. What are we doing? Holden's not here. Hit the like button, all right? So next game we have St. Louis versus the Mets, Adam Wainwright versus Rich Hill. So Rich Hill has actually pitched pretty good as of late. Looks like, since the sticky stuff, he had a little problems, but the last 3 starts, he's pitched really good. And then Waino's been really good all year. I mean, I can't believe this. I think he's 40 years old, 40-something, still doing it, still knocking out. I think he has another good start here. G-Rise, any interest in either of these offenses in St. Louis or the Mets?
Yeah, the Mets have been so hot. I was kind of torn. I don't even know what to do. But, I think for the Mets and the Yankees today coming, well, the Mets are the only one on the slate. But, I mean, that was a pretty intense game series they had. I mean, it was fun to watch from a fan standpoint. I mean, the shit talking between Stanton and Lindor, and then Lindor hitting a homer. I mean, that was pretty sweet. So baseball needs more of that, actually, I think. I mean, it's just fun to watch. So, but Wainwright has just been so consistent. He's not a guy that's really going to get blown up, but I think I do have some interest in the Cardinals here. The Cardinals are one of the best teams in baseball against left-handed pitching. And I mean, Rich Hill is, he's just kind of holding on here at the end of his career, slow tossing lefty. I don't know really what kind of leash he's going to have. I mean, I just really don't like playing too much here in Citi Field, but I think that, on a 7-game slate, just kind of looking at what's out there, it seems like all the good pitchers are playing good teams. All the shitty pitchers are playing shitty teams. So I do have a little bit of interest here in the Cards. I think, you got Nolan. I mean, he's just always been a lefty smasher. I do like Goldschmidt. They can throw out a pretty heavy right-handed lineup. Actually, with what they got out, they actually do have all righties. So, I kind of like the Cardinals. So I think I'm going to have some Cardinals mixed in, maybe even some mini stacks. But, I'm interested in the Cards.
All right. DC, do you have any interest in the Cardinals as well?
A few guys. I mean, They do have that right-handed power, right? And a little bit of speed, both of which can play against Rich Hill. Tyler O'Neill, I think, looks like a particularly good play, hitting third today, 4,400. I think Arenado looks solid. I mean, there is a little bit of a lack of offense, I think, on this slate, right? There's only a few teams that you're really excited about, like teams like the Blue Jays, that we normally might want to stack up, have tough matchups, only 7 games. So somewhat limited options, and you got to get upside into your lineup. Tyler O'Neill certainly has it, a guy that could hit 2 home runs in any matchup. I think the matchup's pretty good for him. Like he he'll smash some cookies, right? And Rich Hill throws that big old curveball, but like, I don't know. Tyler O'Neill could be sitting on that pitch. He leaves it in the middle of the zone. It could be headed out of that park in a hurry, I think. So he would be the guy I like the best, but certainly Goldschmidt, Arenado, Yadier Molina's on the short list for catcher just because it's such a weak position tonight. So yeah, Cardinals side definitely over the Mets side. And then, yeah, we didn't talk too much about Wainwright. He's definitely in play. I just really prefer Alcantara. And then Logan Gilbert's one of my favorite plays on the slate. So, on a 7-game slate, I'm going to narrow down the pitching pool. And those are the two guys that I want to play. But Wainwright, certainly on the short list at pitcher. And I think pretty damn safe, right? He's just been so consistent all season long, probably going to give you 50 to 20 fantasy points. My problem is I don't think that's enough tonight for 9K. I think Gilbert could surpass that, and I think Alcantara will surpass that. So that's the reason I don't have Wainwright in the cores or anything, but still a strong play.
Yeah, totally understand there. All right, so now we got an 8 o'clock game. Jake Ordozzi in the Astros versus the Rangers. Who's starting for the Rangers? I know Alex Alexi is going to come in afterwards. Spencer Howard is going to start for the Rangers. Spencer Howard definitely had a lot of struggles, but they've been using him as the opener, so he's going to pitch maybe 2-3 innings at the most. I think they're going to hope for 2, quiet innings from him and then just give it to Mr. Sexy Alexi, who's pitched really good. But G-Rosin, we like in Houston here against Texas. Obviously not a very hitter-friendly park, but you have any interest in either of these offenses here?
Yeah, I have interest in some Houston. Houston's got a pretty good matchup. I mean, Spencer Howard's a talented young guy, but you look at his MLB numbers so far, over 6 ERA. He's got a 4.9 xFIP. But I just think the Astros are a team that you can put in the short conversation that's just has could just go off for a huge night at any time, almost against any type pitcher, but. You look at it, Bregman's been hot since he come back. I do like Bregman. I mean, his last 14 games, I think he's got a hit in like 12 of his last 14 games. I thought I saw, but you can throw Brantley, you got Kyle Tucker and Jordan. I think there's just a lot of good bats here. The Rangers bullpen stinks. I mean, we all know that Texas has got a humidor there. But I think the Astros could definitely put up a pretty big score here today. I don't really like the 7-8 hitters and 9 hitters that Houston's rolling out. Jake Myers, Jose Siri, and Garrett Stubbs. I mean, all of them, you got 2,200, 2K. So I feel like I'm kind of getting a shorter lineup, which kind of took me off of them being one of my very top stacks. But I definitely like the top 6 here for the Astros. I'm not a fan of the bottom half though. I don't know what you guys think. And I don't know enough about these bottom guys to say I'm going to take a stab because this guy's got power or that guy. So, but yeah, if you want to throw one of them in, it's a crapshoot. I think I've heard Jake Myers' name a little bit more in the past. I haven't dug into him, like I said, but he's priced up at 2,200. He's got a higher projection. So obviously that's for a reason.
Yeah, and then we got Jose Siri, who just got called up, I want to say 2 days ago, and he got his first big league hit. He's 26 years old. He had decent numbers in the minors, but nothing really crazy. He has some power, so he's definitely
he's 26.
Too.
He's not. He can't be that good coming the minors at this point.
Exactly, exactly. I mean, he is min price, but that's if you want to take a stab on it. So DC, you have any interest in this Houston team as well?
Yeah, I mean, I did list them as my number one stack, kind of on the strength of the matchup against Spencer Howard and that Texas bullpen. Like G. Risen said, I mean, Howard, he's a pretty big prospect coming up through the Philly system, but I mean, at a certain point, you got to show something, right, at the MLB level, and it hasn't happened yet for Spencer Howard. His stuff doesn't seem that great to me. Like I guess I'm kind of not sure why he was expected to be so good at this point, but in any case, yeah, I think the Astros have a good chance. I do worry a little bit about their upside being somewhat muted in this matchup because of the park, right? Like guys like Jose Altuve and Alex Bregman, they get a lot of their home runs pulling the ball down the left field line and into those Crawford boxes in Houston. If you look at their home run numbers by year, they're always way more at home. I mean, Altuve's at 17 at home, 10 on the road this year. because they don't, I mean, these guys are like 5'7". It's hard to hit it like super far when you're not a big dude. And so that's a little concerning to me, but there's just not that many stacks to go to. And so I think that the Astros have to have among the most upside. Jordan Alvarez, I think, is one of the very best plays on the slate, along with Kyle Tucker. Those are my two favorite Astros. Yeah. And then the other side, I mean, I think Odorizzi's in play, right? The matchup is just so good against Texas. Really don't have anybody that you fear too much. I mean, Adolis Garcia, but he's a huge strikeout guy. Same with Nate Lowe. Like that, there's just not a lot of punch in this lineup and plenty of strikeouts to be had. So Odorizzi always seems to struggle his third time through the order. He's one of the guys that he has just distinct differences. He's expressed frustration about being pulled early, but it seems like they're just going to kind of continue to do that. It's just they've kind of made up their mind on Jake Odorizzi, right? Obviously an analytical front office there. So even if he's pitching good, sometimes they pull him after 5. That's kind of a problem with Odorizzi. So yeah, give me the Houston side. Yeah, especially those lefty outfielders for the Astros.
All right. Yeah, I like it. Speaking of Texas, this team has been sneaky good as of late. They've been actually putting up runs, obviously, more on the road, but still, this team has been sneaky good. The offense has somewhat popped as of late, but so I'm not totally against putting some of those guys in the lineup, maybe as one-offs. But yeah, because I'm not as scared of Jake Odorizzi either. But all right, on to the next game. We got San Diego, San Fran, Darvish, and starting for San Fran is Dominic Leone. It looked like a bullpen game for San Fran. Jose Quintana is probably going to come in afterwards. Definitely not somebody I'm afraid of. But the San Fran's bullpen has been really good all year, really. And they've been throwing bullpen games, probably once every 5 days for the last couple weeks. So this is, of the norm. And the Padres know a lot about these bullpen games. That's for damn sure. And Darvish pitched good his last start. The start before that, not very good. The line is almost even. We're getting San Fran minus 110. Basically, minus 110 on both sides and over set at 8. So I'll go to DC first this time. Any love in this game for the offenses? Either you want to go against that San Fran bullpen or trying to go against Mr. Darvish?
Yeah, kind of a fade for me here. I mean, just a tough place to hit, right? It's getting cooler in the fall here in San Francisco. What is it, like 55 degrees at game time? I mean, I know there's been offense at that park throughout the year in the summer, but it's just going to get harder, the further we go into the year. So that has me a little bit cool on the offenses. Darvish, I mean, hard to know, right? Like he was really, really struggling. He's been on the IL, but did pitch really well last time out. He also had a really, really incredible matchup there against the Angels, right? I remember that day, and I wasn't on Darvish just because he hasn't been pitching well, but I remember being like, man, this matchup is so good for Darvish. Tougher matchup here, right? San Francisco, obviously a very good offense. Not that I want to target them, but I think they'll do enough to kind of keep Darvish away from the winner's circle tonight. So mostly a fade game to me. I would be more likely to play the San Diego side for hitters, but even that I'm not super excited about.
All right. Sounds good. G-Rod, do you have any different thoughts on either of these offenses here?
I can't. It's just, you look at Darvish, like DC said, I was hesitant to play him last time too against the Angels, even though it was a good matchup. It's just because you look at him, it's like you see that 2.2 innings in his game log, and then you look down, there's another one of them, and you're thinking, damn, I just be soul tilting if he only goes a couple innings. It's just kind of scary. But this is another one of them games I kind of look at like Toronto and Tampa. I mean, this is a big game in the landscape of in the NL. I mean, you got two playoff teams here fighting for playoff contention. I mean, even though the San Fran's been playing a little bit more friendly here this year than years past, but I just don't really like, stacking up any kind of teams in San Fran. But especially here, I just think this is going to be another game. It's going to be pretty tight to the vest, but so yeah, I'm going to be off both sides. I'm just afraid that, the matchups, they're going to play a lot of matchups. I think there could be some pinch hitting going on both sides. So yeah, I think it's too risky for me. I'm just gonna leave it alone.
All right. Yeah, I totally understand. I actually think San Fran, I mean, past Jose Quintana, I think San Fran can shut down the San Diego offense for sure. And it's definitely going to be playoff atmosphere, as you mentioned. So it should be a fun one. I expect low scoring as
Yep.
well. All right. So going to Seattle. And we got Boston's going to Seattle. Eduardo Rodriguez versus Logan Gilbert. I don't think we have a full lineup out for Boston yet, but we do have one for Seattle. And as we know, Seattle struggles versus lefties. I know Eduardo is not the best of lefties, has definitely struggled this year thus far, but this might be a good spot for him. So G Ryzen, any interest in either Boston's offense, or you want to go against Eduardo Rodriguez and the lefty and take some Seattle bats?
This was one when you first look at it, you think, oh man, here you got Seattle, you got a lefty. I mean, there's just certain things when you're grinding out every day, when you see situations, you're like, oh yeah, that's a great situation. I like that. And that was one today when it came up for me. I thought, oh, here we go. We got a lefty, he's not bad. And I just, for some reason, like my instinct and my gut's telling me it's just a sucker play to me. I don't like it for some reason. I don't know. I just, my instincts are telling me no. I just haven't been a fan of Erod all year. I don't like really to go against him, and I really don't like to use him. So he's just one of them guys. He's tough to gauge for me. I just out. I think there's other plays I'd rather use. I mean, 8,500. I mean, I don't know. I can't fault you if you want to do it. I see why. I understand. I see some of the talk around the industry. I think he might be a pretty popular play today, but yeah, I'm just going to be off it. I think it's just something I'm going to fade, because if I play or if I use him and then he gets blown up a little bit by Seattle, it's just going to be a little bit more tilting for me that tonight that I didn't follow my normal process, and I've been trying to keep myself in the same parameters and not go outside that. And this one for me is one of those situations. So I'm just going to just leave it alone. So I'm not going there.
All right. DC, are you going to go there?
Probably not with Eduardo Rodriguez. I said I've on the Logan Gilbert on the other side of this game. I'm with G Ryzen. I mean, I just don't play Eduardo Rodriguez. I really never have. He always seems to have, in my opinion, more ownership than he deserves based on kind of just the type of pitcher he is. Listen, I get it, right? A matchup upgrade, of course, at least park-wise, but like he's still going on the road, right? So I do think sometimes you can kind of overrate that a little bit and say, oh, well, man, the pitcher gets a park upgrade. Well, most pitchers are more comfortable pitching at home in general, so I don't put too much stock into that. And I don't know, I'm just not a Eduardo Rodriguez guy. And sometimes, like G. Ryzen said, I mean, listen, if your instincts are saying this is a sucker play, you got to trust those to some degree, or else kind of what else are we doing here, right? If you can't trust your instincts at all. So I'm with him. No interest in Eduardo Rodriguez. I listed 6 pitchers in the playbook. If you're a premium member, obviously you can check that out. He didn't make the cut. It's 6 guys ahead of Eduardo Rodriguez. So I'm not interested tonight, really.
Okay. All right, cool. So we got one more game. Arizona versus the Dodgers. Gallen versus Kershaw. Someone did ask, is Kershaw on a pitch count?
Yeah,
he is.
I would assume so. I mean, went 3 innings after missing what? I mean, he's missed almost 2 months, I think. So I mean, Dodgers are going to be cautious, right? So I do think that he's almost certainly healthy. I don't think they would be pitching him here, right? They would just extend it all the way to the playoffs, right? If they didn't think he could go, but so I do expect him to be effective when he's in there. I just don't think he's going to be in there long enough.
Yeah, I hear you there. And then if you look at this lineup for Arizona, it's not very scary. You got Henry Ramos, Andrew Young, Jay McCarthy. That's 6, 7, 8, and then the pitcher in the 9 spot. Ooh, vey.
The question for me, G. Ryzen, how many pitches would you have to be guaranteed from Kershaw tonight to consider him at 10.4 on DraftKings?
Against the D-backs, who really don't seem to have too many.
I mean, this is an even worse version of their lineup than we typically see.
Yeah, I'd have to at least have 85.
I was going to say 80. Yeah.
80, 85 would be pushing it. But, for really on FanDuel, the magic number is that past that 6, if he can get through 6. So if he I mean, some of these guys, they know.
I don't think
hey,
Kershaw's going 6 tonight. I really don't.
Yeah, I think that would be a really low chance, and that's why I X'd them off right away. But for me, sometimes though I think when these veterans, they know that they're going to have a short lease. I think they just they don't try to beat around the they just beat the box with strikes all day. I think they just attack hitters more than trying to maybe set up a guy with certain pitches. So that may be the case with Kershaw. He could come out and maybe have 5 or 6 Ks in the first 3 innings.
I mean, he does that anyway, right? I mean, I think we're just going to see normal Clayton Kershaw out there, which, listen, he's still a very, very good pitcher.
Yeah, and I think that actually the Dodgers are going to get the Gallon a little bit, and I think if they get out, they're gonna want to save Kershaw. I mean, their end goal has nothing to do with tonight and the D-backs. They need Kershaw to tame those Padres or those Giants here coming up here in about a month or so. So, I don't really want any part of Kershaw.
Yeah. So, I mean, he did pitch in AAA. He had a warm-up game. I mean, he only threw 50 pitches. So probably bumped it up, another 10, 15, and that'll be that. I do not know who's going to come in after him. I would assume they're just going to play, matchups from there on. Jeffrey, I know you're asking who's coming in after Kershaw. I'm not sure. I don't know if
it just depends on who's coming up, who's at the top of the order in the 5th or 6th inning, right? 4th, 5th, or 6th inning. So
yeah, they'll probably just play matchups from there.
Yep.
And that's probably just advantage to the Dodgers as well. But all right. So I mean, we got 300 people watching, 100 likes. Can we get to 200 likes so I can give you guys another free play, another free bet, or what? We're not going to get there. I'll just keep the bet to the Run Pure Bet subscribers. So that's what it is. Okay, so any one-offs you're interested in? G. Rise, you go first. Any one-offs we're interested in here?
Yeah, like I was saying, I think Brett Phillips hitting leadoff up for 2K is a decent one-off. I really like that. I also like Lewin Diaz at first base for the Marlins. I think that's a pretty nice a price to pay for him for what you get in the upside there. I actually like some of the Marlins more as we were talking. So I do like some Marlins.
I'm talking myself into the Marlins too, by the way.
Yeah, I think I'm there. And then Houston, like DC mentioned, Yordan Alvarez is just in a great spot tonight. I think he has potential to hit 2 dongs. So I think if I was looking for that power there and paying up, I think I might pay up for like a guy like Yordan. But if I wanted to pay down, I think I'm gonna definitely look at it like a Brett Phillips lead off 2K on FanDuel. He's got some pop. I know he's been a BigT play once or twice this year, and I think he actually helped him ship, maybe even get that live seed he had, because I remember he called him on a show and said that was his play, and I think he actually hit a inside the park home run, if I'm not mistaken. But
we got to stroke BigT even when he's not here. Come on now.
Yeah, I guess. But hey, it was one of his plays. I'm just saying, and he paid off for him. So I'm sure he's got some Brett Phillips love. But I don't mind him up there at top 2K. And G-Man's in the 4-hole 2,500 too. I mean,
I don't think I've ever gotten a hit out of G-Man Choi when I played him. I've given up.
He's one of them guys for you. He's one of those guys for you.
He's just never.
That's
does.
Bryce Harper for me.
He makes 2 outs and then he gets pinch hit 4, and then I'm never playing G-Man Choi again. And then 2 months later, I'll play him and get the reminder once again. But no G-Man Choi for me.
All right. I know you don't want G-Man, but any other one-offs you're interested in, DC?
Yeah, I mean, we talked about those Miami guys. I think, like G. Rise mentioned, I mean, you can add Lewin Diaz to that mix at 2K at first base. Listen, it's not that strong of a position, right? Like, I don't love Vladimir Guerrero against McHugh in that Rays bullpen. I mean, you got Yuli Gurriel out of Houston, right versus right. Max Muncy, I mean, great player, but kind of a tough matchup against Zach Gallen. So the top end doesn't look as good as it usually does at first base, which means maybe punt it, right? Lewin Diaz, another guy that has pretty big power. I mean, Miami's got a bunch of these guys that swing from the left side. Diaz, Chisholm, Jesus Sanchez, you can add to that mix. Young, powerful athletes, right? They can hit the ball a long way when they get a hold of it. I think Diaz fits that mold, and you love the matchup. He's min price, so I know he's hitting like 130 or something on the season, but this is the type of matchup I think that Miami can win in, right? Because they're kind of undisciplined. They're swinging for the fences, but That's fine for DFS, right? And you just need one good game out of them.
Absolutely. All right, so I do see we got some cores up here. JT Hayes, Big T, JSU, and AP all up. So I'll read these off, right? We're giving them these away, even though it's a free show. We're still going to give out the cores.
Yeah, I think we can. I don't think there's any.
How many likes we have?
What?
Not enough likes.
Okay.
Yeah, we're holding off on the cores because we don't got enough likes. That it is what it is.
You almost got fired there, Joey. We're giving out the cores without permission. That could have been.
That's why I asked.
Your phone could have been ringing after the show with a little reprimand.
Funny enough, I did actually go to Philly on Thursday. I met up with AP, JSU, Big T. Mr. Boynton was in the house as well. We had some beers, watched the Thursday night football game. It was nice to meet everybody, chop it up with everybody. Big T just slamming like U.S. Open bets and just winning them. Betting on. He's like, oh, I think I like this girl. 2000 winner. So congrats to them. That was, obviously, it was nice to see everybody. It was fun.
Hey, you didn't pull a hold. And you actually, not only did you show up, you traveled to another city to hang out with these guys.
That's right. That's right.
Very nice.
Yeah. Didn't Holden also complain that he wanted to do like a Colorado wilderness trip and nobody wanted to come, and then when people actually were out here in Colorado, he couldn't come to the meetup.
That's completely true. We were supposed to go. The bet side was supposed to go meet him in Colorado. We set a week. Then eventually, I got a job, so I couldn't go. And I told him, "Hey, I'm available these other days." And it's like, "Oh, football season, I can't get off." And then you guys all go down there, and you're around the block, and he wanted to meet up with you. So I like
trashing Holden more when he's not here and he can't defend himself. That's
he does the same to us, at least to me. He does the same to me, so he deserves it. He deserves to get it back.
Absolutely.
Yeah. But all right, so what else we want to talk about here?
We can talk some football, right? We got Showdown, we got Baltimore and the Raiders, obviously. I think it's going to be a fun game tonight. I mean, Baltimore missing the first question, right, is kind of where the Baltimore running game is going to go, because they're missing now their starter, J.K. Dobbins, then Gus Edwards, Justice Hill, all went down in the preseason. So it looks like it's going to be what's his name? Williams, I think?
Yeah, Javion Williams. And then they
Tyson Williams, yeah. I think he's going to carry the load. Like they signed some guys to the practice squad. Devontae Freeman, washed up guys, Le'Veon Bell. I don't think they're going to be active. And then Latavius Murray, I think, is going to be potentially the lead back for this team. Like, he would be the guy I would predict to lead the running backs in rushes and yards for the season now. But I don't think he really knows the plays, is kind of the point I was making with the subs in Discord today. Just signed, obviously, got cut by the Saints. And, the Ravens' offense is complex, right? I mean, it's a lot of kind of mesh points with Lamar Jackson, a lot of RPO, and I don't think you can just kind of step in there 1 or 2 days and pretty much no practices and kind of know what to do. So I think they're going to lean on the guy that's been there all camp and kind of has worked with Lamar Jackson. That's just my guess.
Yeah, you're probably right. I know our guy Tyler has a nice couple props that he likes on Tyshawn Williams on the bet side. So obviously, if you guys want to sign up, run at puresports.com. You could get bets, use that promo code, and you get the bet side for free. So great time to sign up. Obviously, NFL in full swing. Week 2 or first Monday Night Football tonight. So G. Rising, you have any thoughts on this NFL showdown?
I'll tell you what, I'm a little leery of this whole game here. I just, for me, you got a team with just struggling with their running backs. They're kind of in disarray. Like DC mentioned, you haven't had too many time that they've been working with the whole offensive group hasn't really had any time to work.
They still got Lamar Jackson though.
Right. But see, that's what I was getting at. Like Lamar Jackson, though, I have a feeling that Lamar Jackson, I've been just kind of watching him. He don't even look like himself to me in a sense to where I just don't see I'm worried about the guy. I think that
really
I think he's been taking a beating. He's the kind of guy that, he's been getting beat up. I was talking to my buddy in season long. I go, man, you better hope he has a good couple weeks, because I'd trade him real fast. I wouldn't keep him past week 6. I think he's just a guy, and I hate to say that kind of stuff, but I just feel like now they could rely on him even more. And he's
he's too good though. He's just too good of an athlete. He's the best athlete on the field when he's out there.
He is.
For now, I'm with you. I don't think like you get to the playoffs, and I think that struggles can kind of come for Lamar Jackson. But man, like this is a well-coached offense. We've seen them be very, very proficient on the ground every year, since Lamar Jackson got there, both with him and his legs and the running. I think it's just kind of hard to stop. And I don't think the Raiders in a dome, I don't know. Like, I just don't think they're a team they haven't seen. Like, listen, if this was in Pittsburgh or something, of course I would be worried. But I think the Raiders defense is bad enough that I think Lamar will do his thing. I'm with you. I mean, long term, I think he's going to get hurt badly at some point, right? Just he's so small for how much he runs the ball. Like it seems like it's almost inevitable. I hope I'm wrong on that because he's really a fun player to watch. But
yeah, he's close to the video game type players we have. I mean, exactly. It's fun to watch him, but I'm just thinking now that they don't have him, the running backs that they once had, I think they're going to try to rely on him a little bit more. I think he's going to try to do more than he needs to do. And teams they're going to key in on him. I mean, at this point, he's the only one that really can really beat you. I think now I'm not saying the Raiders are smart enough to figure that out, but the rest of the NFL is.
Sure. But, yeah. We're talking about one game.
Yeah. I guess I wanted to get it out there. I just think I'm worried about Lamar Jackson. So if any of you guys have Lamar Jackson season long, he starts doing well in the first few weeks, man, I'd be trying to trade him so fast. I wouldn't be happy with Lamar Jackson, but he is fun to watch. I actually like the under in this game. I think it's going to be a lower scoring game than we expect. But hey, I think it's the first game that got fans, isn't it? We're in LA Vegas. Isn't this the first time?
Yeah, I think a packed house. I don't think they had any fans last year, if I recall correctly.
The owner's going to show up. Isn't that Mark Davis is going to be first game? He said he wasn't coming until all his fans could show up. So,
okay.
That's what he said. So
I don't know if that makes a ton of sense to me, but okay. Joey.
Sounds about right.
Yeah. You have a lean in this game, Raiders or Ravens?
I think this is a great spot to bet live. I don't have any pregame bets on this game, but I will be live with Keg. He's doing a Monday night show, probably only for subscribers only. And they do have, there's I think 4 or 5 prop bets on the spreadsheet right now. But I think this is a great live spot. Wait till you see a little bit because I somewhat do lean Las Vegas, but I don't want to do it until I see at least a couple drives.
4 or 5 prop bets. Can we get a little taste for the people? A little
sure. So
maybe one of those.
Yeah, sure. So they're none of mine, but I'll share with some of the guys.
Keg can't fire us, so we're good.
True. All right. So JJ has 2 plays on there. Keg has 1 play, and Tyler has 2. So we'll go with Keg gave out Lamar Jackson over 68.5 rushing yards. He gave this out definitely earlier in the week because I think that number's up to 72. I want to say. And then another one we got is from Tyler B. Edwards over 3.5 receptions plus 132.
I like that one a lot. That seems like a really, really good line. Brian Edwards. I think obviously Darren Waller is going to be the number 1 option for the Raiders. We should have just got inactives for this game too, I think, in the last few minutes. If I have my time zones right.
Yeah, Josh Jacobs is active.
Okay. Yeah. Josh Jacobs was a question mark. They called up a practice squad running back, which could have been an indication that Jacobs was going to miss with an illness. We'll see. I mean, I'm not really on him anyway. I think the Raiders are going to have to throw the ball here to get it done against Baltimore. I think they can, right? Baltimore down Marcus Peters, one of their best cornerbacks. So I think it's going to be a big game for Waller. That Ravens secondary is good, but that's a big blow, and they're kind of small, right? They're very athletic. I think Waller can kind of use his size a little bit to reel in. I think 7+ receptions here for Waller isn't in the cards. We got Henry Ruggs on the other side, who is he's primarily a speed guy, right? He's not a possession receiver, a lot of go routes. You could absolutely catch one and get behind the defense, but I don't think, just my read on it, I don't think he's a guy that's really going to be peppered with targets. I think it's going to be Edwards that kind of could break out and be the number one wide receiver for Oakland this year. And listen, I mean, it's easy to shit on Derek Carr, right? I get it. Like, he's not he's kind of like a Kirk Cousins type, right? But like, he throws for a lot of yardage. He had a good year last year. I think he's another guy that can benefit playing on turf, right? He's an accurate quarterback. And just when you get in that environment, you're at home, you're at turf, everything's kind of perfect. Your receivers can run more precise routes and all that stuff. So I think Carr is gonna play well here and put up some yardage. And Edwards, yeah, I mean, replacing Nelson Aguilar, I think he's going to play that role for the most part. And Aguilar had a fantastic season for the Raiders last year. Not saying Edwards is going to do that, but yeah, I think he's going to be targeted pretty heavily.
Yeah. So that's what Tyler likes as well. So that's definitely a prop bet. Obviously, there's a couple more, but I'm not going to give out any more. You have to be a subscriber to get the rest.
Jimmy Smith also inactive for the Ravens here. So secondary down, another cornerback. He's obviously kind of, on the downhill of his career, but still that secondary missing some guys, and that matters in the secondary, right? You're kind of, you all move together as a unit. You really do in the secondary. You take a couple pieces out of there. We might see some blown coverages from the Ravens here. So yeah, even more boost to Carr, in my opinion here.
There you go. All right. Well, it's about 2 minutes to lock. Any final parting words, G Rising, you got for the people?
Yeah, if you want, I give you out part of my core. I got some Astros mixed in with a couple Marlins. So I like the Astros tonight. Astros are my favorite, but I only like the top 6.
Cool.
No Myers.
Yeah, all pretty quiet, seems like, on the baseball front, right? We've got the lineups that we need. There's no weather issues, I don't think, at all. I haven't seen anybody taken out of the lineup or anything like that. So it kind of seems like it's just going to be, like baseball, we're good to go. So we'll see. Should be a fun slate, and yeah, excited for football tonight too.
Absolutely. All right. So I think we're going to call it a show. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Hit the like button before we get out of here. Obviously, we didn't get to 200 likes, so no cores, no Joey Work second play, but the first play, Marlins first 5 money line. Obviously, I gave it out a much better number than it is now, but I'm still, I'll lay up to minus 130 is the most I lay on that. Otherwise, we really appreciate everybody tuning in. Hit the like button. We'll be back tomorrow, same time. Obviously, multiple shows tomorrow. If you want to sign up, runpuresports.com. Sign up. Great time to get in. NFL's in full swing now. And we appreciate you all. So for Joey Work, G Rising, and DC, Simon, get us out of here.